Correct. So thing is that this is one of the let's say one of the correct answer. Like obviously, like not all website download the software. Okay, it can be one of the phishing web page. Let's say the phishing web page of an Outlook. Okay, Outlook login, where the attacker is try to trick the user in entering their credential, and once they got the credential, they log into the mailbox on that user behalf. So that's one thing. But what else can go wrong over here? What else can go? So what I will again explain the scenario. The the website is being accessed by the SOAR in a sandbox environment, and if that link is kind of downloading a software, it is analyzing that. If not, it is, let's say, checking for if the website looks like a phishing web page. It alerts that. And what else the SOAR platform is missing over here?
So like,
Any yeah.
yeah, in a manual testing, what we can do is so we can take the IP address, we can check the age of the website, and so SOAR is like whatever the code we have written only in that aspect only to check. But coming to the human, like so we will be using some human intelligence, and so we'll be figuring out other things.
Correct.
Could it
So
be?
yeah, go on.
Could it be? Could it be like there is some, if there is some malware like it is trying to hide itself because attackers they use some techniques where malware is trying to escape, so it will not, so it may try to evade the detection process by the source. So in the manual thing, when we're doing it manually, we can have a look at the attachment, and we can do like we can do them like malware analysis and all that stuff.
Yeah. So thing is that the inputs that I've got from you guys is actually correct. All the different inputs. Let's say deciding the age of the website, deciding what's the history of that IP address, deciding the malware analysis part where the malware is trying to evade the detection by the sandbox analysis of the source. So that's all the reasons are actually good that we need to kind of look at when we shouldn't be fully dependent on the source environment. Obviously, so that's why there's a people component always necessary in the SOC. But one of the answer I was looking forward to, which actually we encountered earlier. Okay, we actually encountered earlier in one of the company I worked for, and we kind of implemented that functionality. So one of the things that I did was that the website, let's say it was abc.com, and let's say in normal scenario it used to download the malware to the system. So when so click that link abc.com, what that website used to do is it had a captcha, a captcha that needs to be entered. Okay, so this is how the website was able to detect if a human is kind of accessing that website, or a automated tool is trying to access the website. So if there's a captcha, so what the issue was that SOAR was not able to kind of detect that there's a need to kind of fill the captcha. Let's say the captcha is like 2 plus 2 and we need to fill the answer. So the SOAR, what it was doing was just visiting the link and checking like if it downloads a file, it does the analysis. Else if there is no file download, it just say okay, the link is fine. Okay, so that was a big miss opening over here. So one of the things that I suggested over there is that when the SOAR visit the website on a sandbox environment, it should have certain kind of capabilities to kind of detect if that website is accepting certain kind of inputs from the user. And it can do it from two different ways. One is definitely take a screenshot of the website and utilize certain kind of machine learning algorithm to decide like if there is certain kind of capture in place which needs to be filled. Okay, or else what it does is that it monitors the source code of that website and checks what are the input tags. Is there any input tag in that website? So let's say there's an input tag, input type equal to text, and then there's a box. So this will help SOAR to understand that okay, the website is not something like if I just go and visit that, the malware will come in. I need to first fill in the captcha, correct detail, then only the malware will be downloaded. So based on, so these are two techniques which I raised to the team that we are doing something wrong with the email analysis. We are telling certain emails are good, even though it has the malicious link which download the software, but the SOAR is not detecting that because there is a captcha. So what we did is like, rather than going to the complex process of like implementing certain machine learning thing, what we did is like we added a module in that email analysis where the website, when the website is checked, it also checked the web source code, and if that web source code has an input type equal to text, it's so even the SOAR was not able to fill that field and download the malware. It alerts the SOC team that okay, this website is not actually kind of correct. Even though it doesn't download the malware, it is a little bit suspicious because there's a human element that the website is kind of checking. Okay, so these are some of the things that we can kind of check. So there's always, so we should agree that we can't say all the correct answer, but the answer that you guys told, you said, were actually correct. So those are the also other things that we need to kind of check at, and there can be multiple checks. The checks can be endless. Uh, the also one of the other thing that we also need to be agree about is that in this case, I will say again, one of the thing is that this later, I'll say the full story. So even after we implemented that, the leadership came with a decision that we don't do that. Okay, we don't check the web source code, and if it is having an input element, we alert the SOC. So reason is that we leadership was actually fine with kind of accepting certain risk, and they were actually right with that. If we start doing that, even though like it will help us kind of detecting certain thing malicious, but the the number of alerts then coming to the SOC team for phishing related email will be 100 times more than what it used to be earlier. Okay, so leadership came with a decision that okay, we accept the risk over here, rather than kind of implementing, rather than alerting the SOC team of whenever in a website has certain kind of input text. We don't do that. We just totally avoid that, and only if the website just downloaded that malware, then only we alert the SOC team. Okay, so these are also some of the decisions that came up, and it was actually a right decision. We can't just bog down the whole SOC team with multiple alerts coming in. We need to accept the risk that the resources are limited, let's say 5 people, and they can't kind of analyze thousands of alerts coming in every day. Okay, so this is so this is how it ended. But one the core point we want to say is that technology is not something which is sufficient in itself. There's always need for people to kind of assist, to use the technology in a better way that suits their needs. Okay, so thank you guys for kind of sharing your inputs. Now let's move to the next topic: SOC role and duties. Okay, so let me go to the SOC roles, and okay. Or let's take a 2 minute break. I'll just grab some water and then kind of will continue with this with the. So let's take a 2 minute break and I'll come back.